Good evening. Welcome to Crypto CJ's Trade of the Day. This is the Monday night Zoom edition, and I've got people from all over the world. Got a couple of people from Australia and Philippines, and anyway, it's really good times to have this little program reaching out all over the world, and we're gonna do what we always do. Let's check out Bitcoin. I'm gonna share my screen. All right, you guys confirm you're seeing my day Bitcoin chart. Good. All right, so I've got my Fibonacci retracement indicators. I also started to draw in some trend lines. A lot of people, that I watch and that I know we have in CryptNation and iCoinPro like to use trend lines and triangles and ascending triangles and descending triangles and things like that. As a day trader, I never really paid those too much attention, but any tool we have that can show us the overall trend of the market's worth checking out. So this is something I've drawn on the day chart for Bitcoin. As you can see, it's been mostly going sideways other than this dip sequence we had in late March, but in April, it's really just kind of hanging around. Today, it was right around 60,000 most of the day. I don't know if it made to 61 or not. Looks like it did punch up there right around midnight in the wee hours of the morning. It was in that range, but then dropped again below 60 and then just trending sideways. So, that's not bad. We've also got Bitcoin dominance trending down hard. So when we have a good price for Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance below 60, I've heard this could go as low as 52. It's usually a prime conditions for the altcoins. So a lot of them have shot up in the past week or so. We're going to be trying to find some that are due to shoot up some more, or at least begin. There's coins like, like ADA that had a nice run. BNB is going out of its mind. We can talk about that, and then we got some laggers like Link and Atom that they're standard coins, altcoins, but aren't doing much. So I think those guys are due. Don't really have any technical indicators to show me that, but two reasons. One is that they're strong altcoins and they haven't had a big run yet. And the second one, I'm in both of them, dadgummit. So hope they shoot up. All right, so that's Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. I went ahead and charted up Ethereum too, based on Connie's suggestion last week. And it's got sort of a similar triangle pattern. I think it's going to break above this. I mean, it's already punched above it once. I think it's going to break above the all-time high well before this this point here, according to this this chart in late May, but I think it'll be way before then. So Ethereum's looking pretty good, but it's gone mostly sideways the last few days, hanging around 2100, 2200 in that range, not really doing much else. So any questions on Bitcoin and Ethereum before we move over to Altcoin Alert? Alrighty then. Let's see what Altcoin Alert has for us. I did have one trade this morning with Altcoin Alert, and one yesterday, both on ENJ. So I think I have the ENJ chart up already. So yesterday I had a nice about 4 or 5%. This morning I got in around 850 and it's gone mostly sideways. I'm up a little bit, but it hasn't reached my goal yet. So if we're looking at it right at the moment to determine if we're going to trade it or not, it's just hanging around the SMA line, the worst possible place to be. So as you know, I want something to be in a dip sequence. Something like this would have been nice. If we had this going on, we'd be all over it. Here's a single dip here. We have the squeeze and the big bubble. Dip one, say dip 2 and big crashing dip 3. It's perfect. So we get in here and ride this to the SMA line, 4%. Had I been awake at 3:30, I would have been out at 5 with over 4%. We like that. But for now, it's got to make up its mind. It's either got to go into a dip sequence or give us a squeeze trade with some candle action above the SMA line. We do have a MACD cross in the histogram, so that's good. RSI is pointing up, but in this candle's starting to move up. So I'd probably want to see one more candle, and I don't know if this would even be enough potential profit to be that interesting to me. Almost 2%, not bad. I forgot to look at the day chart. We should look at that first to see if we have room to move. Yeah, it hit an all-time high a couple days ago on the 9th. I think that was Friday, and then it's working its way back. Be interesting to see if it bounces off this line and works its way back to the all-time high or goes into a dip sequence. Some of these coins that have hit all-time highs in the past week are crashing big. So we're going to look at some of those.
What is the red dotted line that it's at right now? It's above the SMA. That line. What's
this
that
orange line here?
Yeah, it looks red.
These are Fibonacci retracement lines.
Okay.
I need to probably do a crash course on that. It's advanced
you
charting.
Get some custom things. Is that like the 1.2? No.
Yeah, it's the 236.
Okay.
Sure, why not? So this is the Fibonacci retracement. These are the values I use. That's how I was taught. You can see the orange line is 236. The pink line is 382. And this is a sweet spot here if you can get it in the 580 to 618. That's usually due for a pretty big recovery. And these are the last lines of defense, 786 and 886. So roughly this blue box is halfway between the high and the low that I'm charting. And it's really more of an art than a science. Part of the challenge of this is to choose where to get started. I mean, I started here in late December on my day chart. Should I have started here? Wouldn't have made that much difference, but one could argue that the trend's been broken. I should start here. That would push all these values up. So anyway,
okay.
But
thanks. I want to make sure I understood what the lines were that you had.
Yeah, so if you see these color coding lines, that's usually what they are on my charts. So as you can see, I've got a little alert set on this 382. They'll let me know if this drops that low, because I'll want to either get in on an original trade or ladder buy if I'm still in it. So
thanks.
All right. So now we got a second candle on ENJ. So this might be a good squeeze trade to get in. I'm already in this, so I'm not getting in at the moment. I'm in right about here. I'm looking for like right around here. Retracement to here. So we'll see. Actually, I've got 309 set on my myself. So yeah, this I don't usually get that aggressive off one candle, but I was trying to get at least 5%. We'll see if that pans out. If it doesn't pan out by tomorrow, I'll probably lower it and just take 2 or 3%. All right, so that's ENJ. I didn't look at the value that that Altcoin Alert's giving us. So we've got a nice distance between this line here and the actual price. The sentiment line is at 3.82 and 3.0. So usually we're hoping that this runs ahead of the price, this price action on ENJ. So we'll see if it works out that way. Don't trade this one. Yeah, I'm going to show you this one here, PunDX, because one little flaw in Altcoin Alert is that when coins change their designation, it takes them a while to catch up. For example, this one is now PunDix, PUNDIX is the actual ticker, and they still have the old one, NPXS. So this looks awesome at first, like, wow, look at the distance between, you know, the sentiment line and the price. Well, the price is 0 because this doesn't exist anymore. So disregard that one.
I'll buy it at 0.
Yeah. Chili's is interesting. I don't have a good score here. It looks like it's sentiment's dropping. That one's had a big run up. I think it's up 20% today. Yeah, 18% actually. I'm trying to catch this in a lower price. I've got a low buy order set. See if that pans out. And then one I looked at, yeah, I've got the chart up here. Well, let's look at the value sentiment. We have some distance between sentiment and the price. So let's look at one, and it's pumping. So this one had a big pump and then kind of a crash. Looks better. It looks easier to see on the 4-hour chart. So this one dropped, you know, close to 50% as of the 7th. Did show signs of life and then dropped again. Now it's coming back. So this one could be interesting. If you want to catch a trend trade, let's look at the hour chart. Yeah, you could maybe catch this and try to do so. You know, we got 5% to this resistance here, and then, you know, 12% to this resistance here. You're relying on 5 days for your resistance value. If you try to hold on that long, you might catch the wave, or you might be in it for a few days. So it's probably a little too high for me to get in, but has potential. Okay, let's look at, see if there are any AA scores that look good. I've traded this one before, Aon. Got some distance between those. Let's look at Aon. Oh, we just missed a dip sequence. Squeeze, bubble, 1, 2, 3, didn't do much. Then went into another dip sequence. Hit the SMA line, looks like it wants to go through another one. So what's this been doing lately? Oh, okay. Coming off an all-time high. I don't like it. Nope, nope, nope. All right, so let's search Altcoin Alert. Let's try the 1-hour projected sort. CHR, haven't seen that one in a while. Usually looking for 5% or higher on the upper on this particular sort. XRP's had a good run lately. XLM, pretty good too. IOST, I think I traded that a couple weeks ago. Did okay. CeeLo, don't know that one. Let's look at Chromia. Haven't traded that in a while. Whoa, 36.5. That's not good. Of course, we're ignoring the AA score when we do these sorts. We're trying to catch something a little sooner. So sorry.
The last alert was for Filecoin at 640.
Mm-hmm.
Can we take a look at File?
Filecoin, sure.
Yeah. I just thought I'd see what the last thing on the phone on Slack was.
So here's Filecoin. I'm in File Up for about a week, so I'd like to see this punch up here somewhere. But yeah, we had a really nice dip sequence here, and this morning, 1, 2, 3, 4 dips there. So that would have been a nice to the SMA line. You wouldn't be out of it yet. If you went to this resistance here, you would be about 5%. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this particular coin. I mean, if you were on the Altcoin Alert, call on Friday, they were talking about, or maybe it was Thursday, where Aaron was talking about how there's a lot of supply left in this coin that could get dumped on the market, but it's had a big run up when Grayscale bought into it. So a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it for long term, but when the Slack alert came out, I thought, oh, maybe it's going to do a little pump and
yeah,
be in for a day or two.
Agreed. So I went back into it with that in mind. I didn't like it long term, but I thought, because it was in a dip sequence when I bought it a few days ago, and but it didn't do much after that. Just went down and sideways.
But
for now, yeah, but for now, it's a little bit above the SMA line. MACD's pointing down. I don't see a trade here yet. So usually looking for some trending action up or dip sequence. I see neither at the moment. Might want to set alert. Down here. Right click on it, and towards the bottom of this prior dip would be a good place to put one. Could also put one in the RSI area. You guys know how much I love these. I don't use a 5-minute for that anymore. I've been using the 15-minute. And I like to put my RSI alerts here on the 30. So that would be another option too, if you want to catch this in a dip sequence. And that reminds me, I made a post in the CryptNation Slack group about VET, VeChain. Man, every time on this chart when I've been getting a 15-minute, I just missed one here, but a 15-minute RSI I've been getting in with a leverage token and doing really well with it. So I just want to pass that along to you guys that this coin likes to bounce out of its, at least lately, out of its this dips pretty aggressively. So you can see each time it dips here, it's bouncing back. Like here, 8%. This one here, we got bounce back pretty quickly, 4%. It looks like it's pumping again. So this might be one you guys want to keep an eye on. It did hit an all-time high a couple days ago, or yesterday, or day before yesterday. It's coming down a little bit. See if it's just taking a breather and going to pump again, or more of an extended dip sequence. But this is a coin I've been trading. I went through my spreadsheet today. I traded it 7 times in a month, all of them for really good results. So, all right. Any other altcoin alert sorts? Well, let's do a quick trading activity, then we'll move on. All right. Haven't heard of most of these. Here's BNB. FTX token could be interesting. Neutral. And it's only 2.67%. Maker. PPT, I've heard of this. I did check it out. Couldn't really find it anywhere that I wanted to trade on. It's on OKX. Did not know that. Well, shoot, we're here. Let's check it out. Coming down off an all-time high. Squeezeville. Not sure if anybody's in OKX anyway, so let's bail on this and go. Any other questions on Altcoin Alert before I move over iCoinPro? iCoinPro's had some interesting stuff today, so kind of looking forward to looking at that. All right. iCoinPro, I made an RSI SPY trade this morning on YFI. We'll see if it's still there. No, it's not, because it went up. But what I sorted by 1 hour RSI, and I had a value below 30. So I went over to YFI, saw something I liked, and traded YFI up on Binance. It's about 2.5x leverage, and did pretty well with that. I think 7 or 8%. For now, we've got something interesting here. WazirX, or WRX token. I believe this is an exchange in India, but I traded this coin a lot last year, and then it had a crazy run up again. And so I've been back looking at it. I just updated my fibs on this. So it shot up way up here to 666, and it's dropped nearly 50% down here to about $3. On the 1 hour, it's kind of squeezy and it's dipping. So this is in a long dip sequence. From this squeeze here, and it's starting to bubble out. We could probably count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a 10 dipper. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And that might be too many dips. But it does, once it hits the Bollinger Band, it does get pretty close to the SMA line. So I don't know. Do we really want to take that kind of risk for 1%? I think I'd wait for this one to show better signs of recovery before I jumped in, or at least a more pronounced dip sequence. Something that's more like this. That's kind of a squeezy dip here. So I'll probably pass on that. And going to the Buddy Coin Crawler. This is what I wanted to look at. We'll look at Pancake first, though. Pancake Swap is a another exchange kind of like Uniswap, and is actually challenging Uniswap's dominance of the Ethereum-based exchanges. And we had a big crashing dip here in the 3 o'clock hour, rising slowly, a little slight dip, and now it's in a squeeze right here around the SMA line, which is, again, my least favorite place to be. Overall, pretty close to an all-time high since it's been listed on Binance. And I would, again, wait for a dip sequence on this, or a trend. And then Venus has been interesting. I've traded this a few times this year with pretty good results. So I was looking at this earlier, and I like this a lot. It hit an all-time high in February, hasn't reached back there yet. A lot of coins are like this. You know, they pumped in February, then made, you know, big corrections, and they're coming back. So this is certainly in that category. And then on the 5-minute chart, we've got a really nice trend. We had a dip and then bounced off the SMA line. And not only that, we got big percentages going up. So, you know, 6% here to the top of the Bollinger Band, which corresponds to this, you know, this resistance right here. So I might just jump in on this while we're here. So not financial advice. And we will see what happens with this. Of course, I cheated a little bit by looking at some of these before you guys got on, but anyway, good. It's good to be prepared. And I'm going to set a sell order for right around here. See 90.4, maybe like 89.95. I like to get right below round numbers on my sell orders. And it's about 3%. That's not bad. I'll take that. Wow, look at BNB. Its volume is 5.3 billion, and Bitcoin's is only 3.3. Crazy. Okay, so let's see, iCoinPro. We looked at Filecoin already. Let's look at NKN. This one's been lively in the past week or two. Again, hit the all-time high a couple days ago at 148. Pretty big drop since then. Yeah, over 40%. Let's see if we. It did look like it was coming back. Well, no, that's I'm on the hour chart. That's the big run up, and not many signs of coming back. Looks like a dip sequence is beginning. I would probably want to wait to see if this plays out. Say if it dropped down here to the third standard deviation, back to the SMA lines, almost 4%, not bad. So this one in a dip sequence would be worth checking out, I think. Okay. And then OGN, I've been trading again. I've got that one up here. That's the last iCoinPro we'll look at. This had a big run up to all-time high, 337. Now it's down to 240. I got in on this one yesterday. Did a ladder buy this morning. I'm up a little bit on my ladder buy. We'll see if it plays out. Regarding a trade at the moment, I do think this could easily retrace back to, you know, this resistance here at around 262. I just want to see some evidence of candle action going up first, or, you know, if it bubbles out, then it could be a dip sequence and a 1, 2, 3 dip. Catch it maybe right about here. Top of the Bollinger Band over 6%. If you want to go up here, 14% could take a couple days. So, well, that's all I have for my Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro reviews and the tools I use to find coins. For those of you who saw my my day in the life video last week, you know, I also like to go through my alerts and update those. I did that today.
I liked your day in the life videos. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope that helps some people out.
Very interesting. I'm going to look through it again because, of course, I'm slow.
It's okay.
It's good to have it there.
Yeah, and, like I said in the video, I mean, you don't have to adopt, verbatim. You incorporate your own things. I'm even doing some new things too, some new approaches, not just day trading. So we'll see how that pans out. I do want to keep this focused on day trading for now, and then we'll talk about some other things later. But with that in mind, I'll throw this open to any questions you guys have about day trading, iCoinPro, Altcoin Alert, the RSI strategy, or any of the coins we talked about, or any you want to talk about. So. And let's see if we have the chat.
Can I just ask you, you obviously use Binance a lot with your VPN. What other, I think you said FTX is one you use too.
Yes.
Do you have any others that you use a lot that are good for the day trading coins?
No.
You use those mostly?
Yeah, I use at all times on my left screen, the one you're not seeing, I have Binance and FTX up. So I have trades going on those two exchanges. I do some longer term trades sometimes on other exchanges. I've got accounts on KuCoin, Kraken, against my better judgment, hit BTC, Coinbase Pro. I use Coinbase Pro mostly to cash out. So
right. On and
it's
off
pretty
ramps.
common for me to send over Bitcoin and then trade it on, wait for it, make a trade, a limit buy or a limit sell to go up, 1% or something like that, so I can cover my fees. And then when it hits, I sell it into USD and then cash it out through Coinbase. So I think a lot of people use it for that purpose. But so to answer your question, yeah, Binance, FTX, and Coinbase Pro a little bit. I am looking at some others too. I would like to get into leverage trading fairly soon. I'm looking at Femex for that. So, but Binance and FTX have those capabilities too. So we'll see.
Thank you.
I have a question about these Bollinger Bands.
Okay.
If you look closely on the upper left, it says BB50.
Right.
And so that's kind of a secret number that we've been taught to use. But when you go into the trading market for stocks, they use BB20.
Right.
So the 50 is supposed to be a more conservative value. Have you ever used BB20? And is there a big difference?
It's not huge. 50 is like this essentially corresponds to the 50-day moving average, is my understanding, and then the 20 would be the 20-day moving average. And so I already have the 20-day moving average on my charts. It's this orange line here. See, if you look at MA20, yeah, that's here. So I added that because I know some more aggressive traders want to use the 20 for for those different values. So I've got both. Here's my 20 and here's my 50. And then the green line here is 99 days. So, but I don't use moving averages a whole lot. I'm more into resistance. I want to see. I'm more of a candle action trader than Bollinger Bands and things like that, though they are somewhat helpful. And I think it's a significant value in learning them. Like I said earlier, whatever tools we have, whatever indicators that help us make a decision are worthwhile. So. Okay, any other questions? Let's see, do we have?
I got a question too, Dave, please. No.
Okay, who was asking?
It's Colin. Can you hear me?
Colin, go ahead.
Hey, just a question about stop losses. I've kind of been experimenting a little bit. I find I'm probably better off doing a stop loss of like -5% to protect myself, and plus, like what I've been doing is a one cancels the other on them, an OCO, as in I have my target generally between 3 between 3 and 4% is kind of what I've had the most success with. So I put a stop loss probably minus 3 or 4% and then plus 3 or 4% on the other side once I'm happy with my entry. Do you think that's good, or should I eliminate stop loss? Because it does sometimes bite me in the ass sometimes, but other times it works out.
My stop losses are wick magnets. If I put a stop loss in there, that wick is going to plunge, and CJ's got a stop loss. I'm going to find it.
Yeah. I'm hearing that. But the one time I didn't do a stop loss at all when I decided not to was on Harmony 1 last week when I had a 90 score on AA, and I got destroyed. I got absolutely destroyed. So
yeah. Anyway, and I'm exaggerating, but I've got a stop loss going now in a trade I have that's doing pretty well.
Gotcha.
To protect some profit. So, you know, I'm not against stop losses. I prefer alerts. So
yeah, okay.
If you watch any of my ladder buying training videos, you'll see that I prefer alerts over stop losses. And like, because I'm usually going to buy a second or third position and try to save the trade that way. And that works, I'd say 85 to 90% of the time, but man, that 10% is brutal. You know, I'm in 3 or 4 trades now that I've ladder bought and that are still not up yet where I want them to be. So, you know, it's not a perfect strategy, but it is helpful. But that range you gave, 5%, yeah, that's pretty similar to what iCoinPro teaches, 5 to 10% on stop losses. Another teacher I follow says you should try to triple your in your area of risk management. So if you're doing a 5% stop loss, you should be confident you can get a 15% profit. So that's another way to look at it. That's a strategy more akin to you know, leverage trading, but I think it works on spot trading as well, especially if you do some of the leverage tokens I talk about sometimes, or if you're into something that's really pumping, like, you know, like BNB or XRP's been lately. So
fair, yeah.
Okay.
So which exchanges have trailing stop losses?
Yeah, FTX has a trailing stop loss, which I like. The downside of that is they treat your sales as a when you get triggered, they treat it as a market sell, and you can get hammered on fees on that kind of thing. But so you got to be careful. But overall, I do like the tool, the trailing stop loss. So I know Binance does not have it. I don't think Coinbase Pro does either, but FTX has it. All right, Chris asked about looking at VET. I did look at that earlier. Did that answer the question, or did Chris want to look at VET again? I'm going to assume we're okay on that. So
sorry, I didn't have any service earlier. I caught the second half. I didn't realize you looked at it first. I'm sorry. I'll watch it again later.
Okay, thanks, Chris. All right. Is anybody else, you know, using the RSI alerts that I talk about? I'm just curious.
I look at them all the time, but I don't set the alerts. I just haven't gotten in the habit of doing it.
Okay.
Hey, CJ, this is Sean. I was using the alerts pretty religiously about 3 weeks ago, and they're working really well for me. Now I'm on vacation, and I haven't gotten back in to use them, which is one of the reasons why I was on this call tonight, to kind of get back in the habit, because I was doing okay with them.
All right, good. Good, because that's sort of my baby. You know, that's the one I didn't necessarily invent it, but I think I've sort of personalized it, for lack of a better description.
CJ, yeah, that works a whole lot better when the market is not booming too. So that's the other reason why I'm kind of interested in going back and looking at it.
Yeah, but you know, most of these coins take breathers, even if they're pumping. Like I showed you on the VET chart, which I don't have up anymore, but you know.
So we should be looking for an RSI on BNB whenever that hits, right?
That's a good idea, actually. You know, you've inspired me. So I have a BNB, I have a 5-minute one and a 1-hour one. That's on 70. That should be going. And then I'm going to change this to the 15. So I'm on the 15-minute chart now, and I'm going to right click in the RSI area. Doesn't really matter where you do it, because I'm going to put 30 here for my goal. I mean, that's generally oversold in a 15-minute chart. So the nice thing about this is you're going to be usually going to be on a second or third dip. So.
All right, so CJ, when this one chimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll know you're waking up too, okay?
Yeah, I'm in the Pacific time zone now, so you know. Yeah, this is an easier strategy if you're a bachelor. But because it will, at least twice a week, it's going off at a time that's going to wake me up. So I know that going in. And sometimes if it's, if it's done that and I've had a bad night of sleep, I just won't reset it. I'll just know I'm going to miss some trades if I don't do that, because health first, right? So.
Yeah, I would worry about getting up to one of those alarms and just like punching some stupid ass number into the computer or making some sleepy mistake.
I've done that too. So.
That would be me.
What I found on my phone with Binance is if I try to set a low buy order, it'll automatically default back to the current price before I hit, order. So I have to make sure, I have to double check that, which, so I bought some higher than I want.
I have enough trouble being detail oriented when I'm awake and sober. So good for you if you can do it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, another option is just disable your, you can disable Trading View for a period of time like you can any other app on your, on your smartphone. I want to go into a whole lot on smartphones here, but Trading View is the only app that goes off for me between midnight and 6:30 a.m. So I don't get text messages or Facebook or anything like that. So all that, I don't hear it. But
they don't pay you.
I have an exception. Yeah, that's right. I have an exception for Trading View, so I can undo that if I want. All right, guys. Well, any other questions on day trading?
Can we look at one more coin?
Sure.
ELA. Elastos, do you trade that?
I'm not familiar with it. What is it again?
ELA.
ELA.
An alert just came in.
All right, it's on Huobi and Bittrex, neither of which I trade, but
Well, let's look at the
we can look at it.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, it's a line you hate.
Hit an all-time high yesterday, coming down off that a little bit. If we got an alert for it, then
It just came in a few minutes ago.
okay.
That's what I thought. It might be timely.
It's coming down off that high, but bouncing off the bottom Bollinger Band, heading right at the SMA line. Again, I punch through 2% to the top of the Bollinger Band. Almost 7, right at 7% to recent resistance here from 6 a.m. this morning. Could be something.
It just crossed over the AA score into 80, just barely. And it's got a 1 hour projection of plus 4.17. So yeah, I'm just trying to reconcile the AA score alerts with what you tell us.
Yeah, and I've been using this a lot more. I've been using the AA scores more than I was the sorts that I talked about, a month or two ago. So
yeah, that's why I guess I've been watching it closer since they went to 2.0 because it seems like more stuff's going on that I'm
All
not
right,
able to
so
get into.
this is the one we just looked at, ELA.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's got potential.
Mm.
This one actually
Sweet.
trade. Let's look at DNT. 85.2, but not much going on there. So,
Look at that chart on the ELA, what the sentiment and price thing.
okay.
I'm sorry, I thought we were right there. Mm,
Yeah, it's a
it's
little
not
bit above.
A little bit, not a huge gap, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
got
going to
potential.
this a lot once I get an alert, just to sort of see what the span is and whether or not it's turning back down or whatever.
Mhm.
But I'm not quite sure what this chart is telling me yet. I mean, I kind of have the idea, but this is what I've been going to. Is I get an alert, I go over and I look at this and see what the big picture is,
Yeah.
and then go to the trading view and see what.
It
bigger
says
picture.
everybody went out to lunch between 11 and 1.
Yeah.
Well, the white line is, they say, is sentiment, which is which I assume is the Twitter activity combined with some of the other analysis they do, you know, that the algorithm does, and then you know, against the actual price. So the algorithm is supposed to be leading the price in the software. It's why we have it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got the idea on one of the calls. The white line, it isn't like this one. I can't see. It's not saying that it's going to go to $13 particularly.
No.
It's the 78% that's over on the left. It's like 78 out of 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of telling you the relative thing. And the green line is the price.
Right.
And you can see like 2 days ago, the sentiment was up high, and then it came down across, but then the price went up to, higher than it had been before.
Yeah.
So I guess what this is telling me that it's likely that the price is going to climb again.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily to the point where the white line is touching the
No.
numbers on the right. It's just going to climb somewhere.
No, it's not my understanding that this is, you know, a goal necessarily. It's just showing that this is above the price. That's
Right.
all I read into it.
Yeah.
And the higher it is above the price, the more likely it is to occur.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty big gaps.
Yeah.
In the last week or so.
Yeah.
I have not monetized them
Yeah,
particularly.
well, that's the trick, isn't it? That's why we're here.
I'm learning. We're learning.
Yeah. OGN. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Get me out of this ladder buy.
It's looking good.
All right. Any other coins, or I'm not necessarily going to end the meeting, but I'm going to end the day trading portion. I think I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll stick around for some afterthoughts. So thank you for watching if you're watching the recording, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
All right. So we are